Hello everyone and welcome to Smash Chat. Today we have PSP123.
Hello.
We have Kalimdori, aka the Duke of Dorks.
Greetings.
And we have ED Games.
Really it happening?
We'll see about that, because today we're going to be talking about what the heck is going on with Breath of the Wild Link. And
we're going to start fighting already.
Yep. And we're going to talk about future content from other games, some that haven't even been officially announced yet. Like one game in particular, but we'll get there soon. For right now, let's talk about what Breath of the Wild Link might actually be. Because there's some good speculation here. Could he be a new character? Could he be an alternate costume? And if he's a new character, what on earth does this mean for the representation of the other Zelda characters? So, what are your guys' thoughts on Breath of the Wild Link first?
Well, I definitely think that Breath of the Wild Link is not necessarily a new character, but a reworked character. I think that Link and possibly a few other characters have received massive changes to bring them more up to speed with how the rest of the roster is currently represented in Smash, I guess, 6 now?
Oh dear.
Yes, I agree with that.
Honestly, dropping the numbers and just calling them like Smash 3DS, Smash Wii U, Smash Switch, or at least until we hear an official title for Smash Switch, that's just the easiest way to go about it right now.
Fair enough.
I'm hoping for kerfuffle.
My thoughts on Breath of the Wild Link, I'm in agreement with Kalimdori, if that's what you prefer to be called. I think it is the same Link that we've had since Smash 64, just a new iteration. I kind of feel like if it was Wild Link as a separate character, then they wouldn't have shown him in the reveal trailer. They would have just shown, like, standard Twilight Princess Link or something. So I'm pretty sure it's a new iteration of Link. I very much think, based on his overall new skill set in Breath of the Wild and the fact that the reveal trailer gave him a bow on his back, means that he will be getting some moveset reworks. I'm not sure how much of the original moveset is going to stay, but we'll see. I mean, it would be pretty cool to see the regular Link reworked into something fresh and new, while Toon Link just stays with the regular Link moveset that we have come to know.
Alright, there's really not much more I can add on to that. I also think he's going to be mostly just like a refined version of what he already was. It will be cool to have implemented some of his, more abilities from like Breath of the Wild. But yeah, I'm also going to say he's going to probably be like a refined version.
Alright. For me, it depends on what happens, because at this moment, if this is a new character, then that means that we have 3 Links, and that just kind of gets a bit repetitive. But at the same time, if this is a brand new character, I have to honestly wonder, what are they going to do with the other major Zelda characters, not counting Toon Link? Because when you've looked at the past, the only reason I can think of why we didn't have Skyward Sword version looking Link is because we didn't have a Zelda-ish look for Zelda in Skyward Sword, and we also didn't have a Ganondorf look for Ganondorf in Skyward Sword. So if you've changed Link, and when you look at the past games, they've all kind of matched and come from the same game, or at least roughly had the same appearance. So if this Link is going to be completely different, then what on earth is that going to do for Zelda and Ganondorf? Are they going to keep their Twilight Princess looks? Are they going to try and have them force them into a Breath of the Wild look? What exactly are they going to do with them?
And I personally could see that going 2 different ways. Well, maybe not, maybe a little more than 2. It honestly depends on if a Wild Link is a separate character from regular Link. If it is a total new character that gives us 3 Links, then I imagine the current Zelda cast is likely staying the way they are, or at least pretty similar to it. But if it is the new iteration of Link in general, well, I can definitely see Zelda getting a Breath of the Wild update in terms of looks, at least. I'm not sure what they would do about moveset, if anything, because, well, for one thing, Zelda now doesn't seem to be that popular of a character to play as. A lot of people kind of want her moveset to get buffed or changed to something better from what I've seen. My questions lie with Sheik and Ganondorf. And with Sheik, well, Sheik wasn't in Twilight Princess either, but they did confirm back in the dojo updates of Brawl that Sheik was planned to be in Twilight Princess, but eventually scrapped, and the design from that phase of development is what they used for Sheik there. And Breath of the Wild was certainly in development for quite some time, so maybe something similar could happen there, or maybe they could just make up Breath of the Wild designs for Sheik and Ganondorf. I mean, they kind of made original designs for the Star Fox characters anyway. It's either that, or because of the massive change to Zelda, part of me wonders if Sheik might actually get cut.
Honestly, style or not, I don't think that they would cut a character, especially one that has become so popular in the Smash community.
S tier.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, honestly.
I feel like she has that fan support behind her, and there's really no reason to cut her, even if it's really because you had to cut her because she doesn't visually fit in. I think that's kind of a rather lame excuse, to be honest. And I think people would rather have some lame excuse to keep her in than to keep her out.
Yeah, and some people have thrown around the idea, I've seen this a few times, that, you know, not every Zelda character would have to share the design from the same game. Like, some people have given the idea of, like, Breath of the Wild Link, Ocarina Sheik, maybe Skyward Sword Zelda or something. Just, you know, each character having a different style from a different game. Which I'm kind of mixed on.
I kind of understand, but at the same time, this is like the only time where it feels like the characters' designs can feel inconsistent from any other characters in the cast from any other games. Like Fox, Falco, and Wolf, okay, they didn't exactly have designs from their games. They were kind of mixed and matched, but they at least felt like they belonged there. They at least felt like they... what's the word I'm trying to think of here? They felt efficient enough, I guess, is one way of putting it. Like, you didn't question...
Consistent?
Consistent, yeah, there we go. I think I said that word earlier. How'd I miss that? So, yeah, when you look at that, and you look at the Mario characters, I mean, they've always been consistently looking the same. And you look at the Kirby characters, same thing. But then you go to Zelda, and that's where we have our biggest change in appearances. So this could be the only series that could have a completely different impact depending on what style they go with. But I mean, if that is the case, I think a lot of us would rather have these characters look like the Twilight Princess form if that means that they get to stay.
Plus, I don't think the traditional Smash moveset for Zelda doesn't really fit with Breath of the Wild's Zelda incarnation. I can't see you're using, like, the kicks or some of the spells. She's known for her studies, for how she uses the Sheikah Slate. If they were going to include a Breath of the Wild Zelda, I could see her getting completely reworked.
I'm not sure about completely, but I do think that she could definitely get a couple of movesets changed. What would happen with Ganondorf? Would his final smash now become Calamity Ganon?
That'd be really cool, actually.
For Ganondorf, I could see him doing one of three things, but the first one's just keeping the old design, which I really don't want to happen.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No, don't jinx it. You've called so many things. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, but I said they were gonna either remove him or change him last time, and that didn't happen. And now the only reason I'm thinking that they're gonna keep him the same is because that's how Ganondorf is in Smash. Like, this isn't Ganondorf in Zelda, this is Ganondorf in Smash, and that's how they want it because so many players are so used to his moveset, which kind of frightens me a little because I would like to have a Ganondorf being accurately represented, but at the same time, you completely lose this moveset unless you want to put in Black Bull or Black Shadow from F-Zero and give him the Captain Falcon makeover moveset. So, yeah.
I do understand the mindset of not wanting your character to change, but at the same time, that's what previous games are for.
Custom moves! Custom moves!
Get out.
I honestly don't think... I think custom moves will be buffed a little bit, but not much, but that's off topic.
Okay, to be frank, though... I'm sorry, let me say this real quick. To be fair, the only reason I can understand why custom moves didn't completely change a lot is because they didn't want to have to make all these brand new animations for them. So I completely understand that. I think for some characters they should, but I think for others it's perfectly fine to recycle movesets. When I looked at Mega Man's moveset, he was always doing the same animation, but his attacks were completely different, so it felt like a natural thing. But for some characters, I think they could just try to put in some new animations to make a new moveset completely, but I understand they can't do it for everyone. That would just take way too much time.
Yeah. With the whole design that Ganondorf is going to have thing, well, for one thing, about his current status as Falcondorf, let's call it. I mean, with Ganondorf being the main big bad, the Bowser to Zelda, even if he stays as Falcondorf, I really don't see him getting cut anytime soon. He's just too important to the Zelda series. I would definitely like him to get a new moveset, or if he's going to stay the way he is, maybe add Ganon, like the pig form, looking like he does in A Link to the Past, as a separate character. That's one other way it could work.
I'd be okay with that.
That's what I...
So wait, well, what kind of Breath of the Wild stage would you guys want for the game?
Great Plateau.
Great Plateau is a good idea. It's a likely idea. I would not object to it happening. However, well, on the Smashboards forums, I don't know how many of you have heard of those. I'm actually in the middle of hosting a stage creation contest that goes week by week on that. And I'll give CJ a link to this or after the chat if he wants to show it later. But the Legend of Zelda round of that contest recently came to an end, and although the winner has yet to be declared, someone did submit a stage idea of Divine Beast Vom Meadow, and I really liked what he came up with for it. It was honestly one of the most creative, original ideas for a Smash Brothers stage I have seen in a long time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There, one thing I would like to see in a Great Plateau stage, if I may, is have a Guardian be in the background and just look around and shoot.
That would be cool.
That is assuming that stage bosses don't come back, and honestly, I don't want them to come back. Unless they're completely reworked, because I hate the fact that my fight gets interrupted every 30 seconds.
Don't you just love the Yellow Devil, though?
I love it when he goes away.
Yeah. If stage bosses do return, then do two things. One, give an option to toggle them on or off. I mean, stage hazards in general are kind of hard to give a toggle, but a boss toggle at least is perfectly doable. And two, make it so that they're not annoying. Yellow Devil and Metal Face are very annoying, but honestly I can tolerate Ridley and the Dark Emperor from the Find Me stage on 3DS pretty well. So if we get bosses, I'd rather they be something like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Dark Emperor either. He was like the only one I could actually tolerate. But when it comes to... I guess for another stage boss, if they do bring that back, or at least another hazard, maybe one of those... what's the rock monster that you fight sometimes in Breath of the Wild?
I believe it's called the Talus.
Talus. Imagine if that guy just pops up out of the background, or just like comes on the stage or something.
That'd be pretty cool.
As long as he's not as annoying to defeat as he is in Breath of the Wild.
He'd had that big hit.
Shoot arrows.
He'd had that big hit thing on the stone on his head, so I think you'd be able to get him pretty easily. Yeah. Personally, I'd rather have just like an area where you can actually just fight bosses instead of having stage bosses, but we'll see what they do.
For a Breath of the Wild stage, I would love to see just one of the dragons pop up every now and again, because they would work very well as a stage hazard that isn't annoying but present, given to how they weren't very aggressive in the game as for themselves, but they were still dangerous to be around.
What if they create like a wind presence like Wispy Woods does?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
It's funny you mentioned that. Wind presence is actually one of the elements that guy from my contest I mentioned earlier incorporated into his Vom Meadow idea to help make it so unique.
Ah, interesting.
To backtrack from stages back to characters for a bit, I do have one last question, well, about Ganondorf, but other character things after that. With the big Breath of the Wild update happening, and the potential for Sheik and Ganondorf to get new designs, maybe original ones inspired by Breath of the Wild, or ones pulled from, maybe they were going to appear at some point in development, it seems to me like if Ganondorf is going to get a new moveset, now is the prime time for it. What do you guys think about how likely that would be?
I would think very likely. It's just, if they're going to do it, and if they can find a way to preserve Ganondorf's moveset for those who really want it, because you know that there are people that like it. I think Ganonside can go straight to the depths of heck, because I'm sick of seeing it. But...
Create a new character, call it Ganon. Problem solved.
There we go.
Yeah, and honestly, the final smash on that Ganon, the Link to the Past one, could be Calamity Ganon instead, and Ganondorf could just still have the Beast Ganon thing. Maybe call him Dark Beast Ganon for a name change and make him look like how he does in spoilers at the end of Breath of the Wild. The whole end spoilers.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, that's the only remaining question I had about Ganondorf. I do have a palette-related question about Link, whether it's a new character or the new iteration, basically palettes for the Breath of the Wild look, as well as just other Zelda newcomers in general, but I guess we can go back to stages for a bit. What do you guys think?
Actually, I kind of want to go back to the characters real quickly, because one thing that I haven't really noticed from many other people is that don't forget that this Link also has a completely brand new voice actor. So I can't just see this being a Link from before with a few changes. I think that they are going to give him some major changes, the one that fit his Breath of the Wild look, as well as give him that sound. So, which also makes me beg the question, if they're going to do the same thing with the other characters like Zelda, they keep her Breath of the Wild look, are they going to keep her Breath of the Wild voice actress as well?
I would imagine so. I would think Link and Zelda would get their Breath of the Wild voices, and I would very, very much hope that Ganondorf loses the voice he has now in favor of the one from Hyrule Warriors, but that's me.
Well, you don't like Old Man Ganon?
I think the voice he has in Smash Wii U is a little too gruffy. I don't know if that's the word I want, but I like how the more dark, evil, sinister voice he had in Hyrule Warriors better. Plus,
So
we're going to be... Yeah?
Sorry, continue. Sorry. Oh, so you're saying we should get his laugh from Zelda 2?
Maybe that could be a taunt for Pig Ganon, but... Yeah. Okay, on the Link and Zelda, though, if they do give Zelda a complete moveset revamp to go with her Breath of the Wild design, there is one part I am very confused on, and that's the whole Sheikah Slate and the Champion abilities, because most people seem to suggest that she get one of those two categories, if not both. But the thing is, though, Link is the one that we actually get to use those with in-game. So it's like, what do? Do you just give Link the Sheikah Slate runes and Zelda the Champion abilities? Do you give a little bit of both to both of them? How would that go?
Well, they're allowed to do whatever they want, because remember, I don't exactly recall Zelda summoning a Phantom Soldier to attack anyone, so...
Yeah, plus she did not use the Ocarina of Time spells in Twilight Princess.
Wait, what?
It's a video game.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was saying that she does not use the spells of Ocarina of Time, like the goddess magic. She doesn't use those in Twilight Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Or ever, really.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that for a second. I was actually thinking like Ocarina of Time songs. Sorry.
Oh, no.
No,
That being said, on songs, I would, if Sheik stays, be okay with Zelda having the Light Arrow and Sheik getting a final smash change to the Goddess Harp.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
fit from Hyrule Warriors, I get that. Which makes me think, are we actually going to get some Hyrule Warriors content? Because, I mean, it's kind of a split way between Tecmo and Nintendo, but I would at least think that we'd get some remixes, we might get trophies, but I don't think we'd get a new character. I could be wrong, but I don't think we'd get a new character from them if we're already getting Breath of the Wild Link, who is probably going to be a completely new iteration. However... dang it, what was I just about to say?
Hashtag cuckoo for Smash.
Oh no, let's not summon them, please. Dang it, I just lost it completely. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the original Hyrule Warriors characters. I think we will get some interpretations and maybe some references, but I can't see us getting like a stage from them. I can't see us getting a playable character. which would be cool to kind of play as some of the new ones, but I don't see it happening. I do think we're just going to get trophies and maybe a song from them. Maybe an Easter egg or a reference in one of the moves. Maybe, but that's all I can really think of.
I think Lana being an assist trophy.
Honestly, I kind of wonder, do you think we'll actually get Zelda having any kind of speaking dialogue for victories or taunts?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's possible. It's honestly 50-50. It could go either way.
I mean, if they're bringing in the voice actress, that'd be a shame not to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an option for Japanese voice.
Okay, so is there anything else we want to cover with Breath of the Wild before we move into speculation on future games?
Yeah, I actually have, like I said earlier, Wild Link palettes. Well, obviously, let's assume new iteration of Link. The Champion's Tunic will be the default. We already know that. But this is a debate I see tossed around a lot, and I'd like to bring it up here. For the alternate palettes, alternate colors for the Champion's Tunic, or different armor sets from Breath of the Wild?
I want to say different armors, but please, just not the Gerudo one, please. Not that one, please. No.
Maybe the one where you only have shorts, that's it.
Yeah, it's Shulk. It's the Shulk version. I wouldn't mind.
What's gonna happen.
I would laugh if they gave him the Nintendo Switch shirt. I would die laughing if he just wore that.
Buy our console.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see it. But also, like, that depends on which ones they're going to give him. They could give him up to 8 different kinds, which would also mean, are they going to give him the Sheikah one? Which would just kind of be looking a little confusing in some areas, but...
I think the Sheikah one is one of the more likely ones. I think the Tunic of the Wild will also be in there as well. And I think they're going to have an armor set for the races of each of the 4 champions, like the Zora armor, the Snow Quill armor for the Rito, that Flamebreaker armor for the Gorons, and for the Gerudo, not the cross-dress one, but instead the just regular Desert Vo, which is Gerudo for male outfit.
Okay, I can go with that.
Forever.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Actually, out of curiosity, what do you think his new moves could potentially be? Do you think they're going to use the Stasis rune? Do you think they're going to use the... I mean, they're going to keep the remote bombs. Do you think that they might actually use the magnet one as a way, as like a grab?
I could see it being a grab.
Yeah, I think his grab will very likely be either Magnesis or Stasis. Obviously, only one of the two. They're not going to do both, but I could see both working as a grab.
And do you think that we're going to get some of the champion abilities as the specials, like Rivali's Gale as an up special?
Yes. In fact, I see that idea thrown around a lot for his final smash as well. Like, give it the name, like, Champion's Revenge, and take the Divine Beast firing on the opponent with the Champion's Spirits launching the attacks.
Yeah, cutscene launch attack. That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
What was the name of that red shield that you got as one of the powers for the Divine Beast again?
Daruk's Protection.
Yeah, that could kind of be used. I can kind of see that as a counter when someone hits you against it.
I can. I just kind of wish it wouldn't be a counter, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of wish it was more something else.
I'd like it to be a shield animation. Just
Yeah,
be nice.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have to give him every rune and every champion ability. Like, especially when you think DLC runes like the Master Cycle Zero. That's not going to be in his
That
move
should be
set.
his final smash.
Do you think that they're going to... I'd have to go back and look at the silhouette, but do you think that they're going to let him keep the Hyrulean shield? Or do you think they'll let him use, like, another shield and it'll be like, he can use it as a deflect, but if he uses it too long or too too late, it'll break and it'll have to, like, wait before you get another shield? Kind of like how Robin works?
I do think if it's for the shield, they could probably incorporate weapon breaking. As for the shield bash, I could see that as either a forward tilt or a side special. The only thing is, I don't know if they would go with the Hylian shield for tradition, or something like the Traveler's shield, since that's what we see in Breath of the Wild promotional material more often.
If they were going to go with breakable shields, I would love to see them incorporate the shield slide in some way, perhaps as a side special, as a way you can kind of slide around the map firing arrows as you go.
But anyway, going back to the idea of champion abilities and the Champion's Revenge Final Smash idea, I think that we definitely will see some champion abilities. Rivali's Gale will very likely be an up B. But my issue with incorporating all the champion abilities and my issue with the Champion's Revenge Final Smash is, will they go with it if they decide to add one of the champions as a newcomer?
I think they will, but I think one of the problems I'm having with trying to incorporate all of the champions into his moveset is, what would you do for Mipha? Because she doesn't really have an attack. She's more of a recovery. So,
it would be his respawn platform thing. She just float around him as he comes down.
Or it could be like Wii Fit Trainer, where if you time it right, you'll get some of your health back. Possibly.
I just got the funniest idea. Just get rid of Falco and replace her with Rivali. There you go.
It's the same thing. No one would know the difference.
My answer for how to use Mipha's Grace is I actually saw a really good idea for that on Smashboards once. You charge it like you would Cloud's Limit Charge, only you have to charge it via using the special. It does not fill up as you take or deal damage. And when it is fully charged, then you press the button again when you feel like healing to heal. But to keep it balanced at max charge, it would only heal probably about 8% or so.
Dang, that doesn't sound like a lot. Oh well.
Well, maybe it could be a little higher. It depends on how balancing would go.
Yeah.
That is really the make it or break it deal with how much it heals.
All right. I can still see them keeping some boomerangs, even though it wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest, in Breath of the Wild. I still feel like they're going to...
boomerangs?
Yeah, the boomerangs.
Oh.
They actually had them, and you could throw them, and they'd come back, and you had to catch them, but they didn't feel like they were that important to his moveset, to be honest.
Yeah, they were, with the exception of the giant boomerang, which was two-handed, they were just another category of the one-handed weapons, and they had really short range, and none of them were all that strong, so...
I spent 70 hours on this game. How did I not know this?
Hey, I didn't even figure that you could actually throw them until my second playthrough, so I understand. They never actually teach you that mechanic. It's there, but it's never really like, here's a puzzle, solve it by throwing the boomerang.
Yeah, throwing the boomerang's kind of unreliable in that game anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's basically the equivalent of hitting someone with a baseball instead of throwing it.
If they do keep the boomerang for Smash Switch, I'd love to see them, if the Magnesis is also a grab, that if you throw the boomerang and then fire the Magnesis at it, you can kind of hold the boomerang in front of you as kind of like a zoning tool. That would be amazing.
That would be a pretty good way to incorporate Magnesis as a side B, actually. I heard a similar idea with that once with the throwing an iron sledgehammer instead, but if it's a metal boomerang, it can still work.
Imagine having stasis to stop opponents.
That's what I'm...
That might actually be a really cool final smash, if you just stasis the entire field and then just... you kind of like a global witch time. You have 5 seconds to hit everybody and send them flying.
I think you get a little bit more than that, but I think stasis would probably be more like a short range, sort of disable like Mewtwo, just to kind of keep it balanced.
Oh. All right.
Okay, I think we can finally move on to future games.
Okay.
This is just kind of like extra speculation. We can't really go into great detail on this, but this is just kind of like fun what-if scenarios. We already know a number of games that are going to be coming out. We know about Yoshi's... what is it? Does it have a name? I forget.
I don't think it has a name right now.
No, it doesn't have one
I don't
yet.
think so.
Yeah, so for simplicity's sake, I vote that we just take a page from CJ's E3 2017 video and just call it Yoshi's Crafty World for the time being.
Yeah. So, you're going to get a stage from that. More than likely, you're going to get a stage from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's slated for a 2018 release, and Woolly World got a stage in Smash before it came out in the first place. It's very likely that the same will happen here. That being said, I was kind of miffed the first time that happened that the only new Yoshi stage for Smash Wii U was yarn-based. I think it's a cool idea, but part of me does kind of wish they had a more traditional new Yoshi stage as well.
True, but we're not exactly getting traditional Yoshi games. We're getting traditional Yoshi gameplay, but not Yoshi games. Like, we don't get a traditional Yoshi look, but we get a traditional Yoshi feel.
Everyone likes Yoshi's New Island, right?
Yeah.
I was about to say, watch them put in a new Yoshi's Island stage that is literally called Yoshi's New Island.
Nah.
It's literally just the same stage as Yoshi's Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have the unofficially announced, but we know it's coming, Pikmin 4, which I honestly feel like we're just going to get a stage. That's going to be it. I can't see them putting in a new character, maybe an alternate skin, depending on new characters, if there is one. But for the time being, it's pretty much just going to be a new stage. Maybe some of the new Pikmin will show up in a moveset or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you have... If there are new Pikmin, they wouldn't have to use them all, though. I mean, they didn't use Rock Pikmin before, because, let's be honest, you can't give a character everything in their arsenal.
They were going to try, but they couldn't get it to work.
Honestly, the way that I hear they would have tried to implement it, I'm fine with it ending up the way it did.
What was it?
Make Alpha Dr. Mario Dark Pit Lucina style bonus clone that just uses Rock Pikmin.
Yeah. So instead of purple, we'd probably get rock.
Yeah, probably. Which, to be fair, I at least can forgive the Dr. Mario Dark Pit Lucina thing a little bit, given the situation of how it happened. But I would kind of prefer them to just be alternate palettes if they were going to end up that way again.
Hey, Alf, what did you get? I got a rock. Lucky.
That's alive.
So switching on from that, we know that there's going to be a Pokemon game in the future for the Switch. That's officially announced. The real question is this an actual 8th generation or not? Because if it's a brand new generation, I'm sorry, Decidueye, I don't think you're going to make it.
I disagree. I disagree with that completely. Smash is set for a 2018, which is this year release date. Based on things Sakurai has said, it seems like he's been working on this game in silent for a while. Like, some messages have implied that after Smash Wii U DLC finished, he took a breather rather than a break and just got right to work on this one, which that poor man, bless his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, with how much time they need to give to the characters they choose from the roster, it really seems like they pick out the roster as one of the first things they do when starting work on it. Gen 8 or not, I'm pretty sure we're still getting Decidueye and some Gen 7 stuff.
Well, I mean, not exactly Decidueye, but at least a Gen 7 rep. I'm sorry, I should have been more clear on that, because even I'm still locked in thought that if we get a 7th gen Pokemon, it's going to be Decidueye. It could be something completely different, even though he feels like the front runner right now.
Yeah, I've honestly heard some decent arguments that Sun and Moon might get 2 characters, depending on how things go, honestly. And aside from...
Nah.
Well, either way, aside from Decidueye, I do think that Lycanroc and Tapu Koko are also pretty good choices.
Oh, Tapu Koko would be amazing. I hadn't even thought of that.
The second one better be Professor Kukui.
I still think that it depends on when they actually decided to actually develop the game, and if they were aware if they were making Gen 8 or not, because I still remember thinking Zoroark was a shoo-in, and here's Greninja.
Yeah.
So it really depends. We can't make that same mistake again. At least I can't. I can't make that mistake again. Zoro, like, everything I called that said that was going to be one of the first playable characters, they became like an assist trophy or a Pokemon, so dang, I was off on so many things back then.
One thing I will say that's a little different about this Pokemon situation compared to that one is that Gen 7 not only has a lot of standout Pokemon, but it is one of the most popular generations we've gotten recently. Not that any generation has been unpopular, but Gen 7 stands out a little more in that regard. So even if we have Gen 8 stuff on the way, I'm still not 100% convinced that means they'd want to pass over Sun and Moon.
Yeah. We're going to get Sun and Moon content no matter what. I'm confident we're going to see a stage. I'm confident we're going to get some remixes. And I'm confident we're going to see some Pokemon show up on the Pokeballs. That is a completely different debate for another day. Although, if you guys want to leave some thoughts and suggestions in the comments, go right ahead. But what do you guys think? What if there was a Pokemon from Gen 7 that's going to be in the Pokeball? Who do you think is going to be there? Not counting legendaries.
Not counting legendaries.
And no counting Ultra Beasts either.
Darn it!
I was
like, those are so obvious. Like, the new one that came out, I can't remember the name, but it's the one that has the move Mind Blown. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll come out and do that, so we don't need to...
Decidueye to beat One Piece because I love seeing dreams get crushed.
What about Alolan forms? Are those allowed?
What happened?
I'm asking if, like, legendaries and Ultra Beasts, Alolan forms are banned.
What, you think Executor?
Yes.
I actually didn't. I was not thinking Executor for an Alolan form. Actually, I was thinking Ninetales, but I just wanted to make sure they weren't banned first.
No, I won't ban them.
Yeah. For a non-Alolan form to count for a Gen 7 Pokeball, though, I guess I'll say Oritorio.
Oh, the dancing one?
Yeah.
No,
Interesting.
I'm nominating Beware.
Okay, I can see that he just tries to run up and hug people, but it knocks him out.
What about Alice? Would that be a good one?
He kills you out of love, I swear.
Yes. What was the one?
I can't remember the name, but the sound dragon, the one who rattles his scales a lot, that could be a sound.
Como
something.
Yeah.
That and definitely Golisopod. Just as a kind of sumo wrestler type of Pokemon. That would be amazing.
Golisopod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm just now realizing this. How did we not say this one first? Mimikyu.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm actually thinking that if any Gen 7 Pokemon that they're considering, that could actually be a playable character.
No, I have an idea. Get rid of Pikachu, put in Mimikyu.
Yes!
There we go. He gets all the attention he wants.
It's perfect! Which kind of reminds me, do you think we're going to get any kind of big changes for the Pokemon? Because I can only think of two things that they're going to change. And they're both the Final Smashers. I think Greninja is now going to be Ash Greninja, and I think Pikachu is going to have the special Z-Ring Pikachu thing.
Yeah, but which one? He's technically got two. Tatastrapika and 10 million volt Thunderbolt.
Well, it'll be like Ryu then.
Okay. I was leaning towards just 10 million volt Thunderbolt myself, but whatever.
I think it's the more special one where he actually has the one named after him, the Pikachuium. I haven't used it. I don't know what it is, but I know he has one, so...
Yeah, Tatastrapika is the Pika NMZ, and the 10 million volt Thunderbolt is via Ashcat Pikachu with the Pikash NMZ.
I was just about to say if it depends on which Pikachu you're using. Like the alternate costume, but I think that'd be way too difficult to program.
Yeah, which in the realm of alternate costumes, since Pokken is a thing, Pikachu Libre?
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu should definitely be one of Pikachu's new hats.
When Detective Mimikyu coming out, make it happen.
Oh wait a minute. Are we sure we want Detective Pikachu? Because then, what if they get the voice actor for that?
Right,
That's why they should have it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay. And he'll be like, another case closed. Pikachu!
I'm gonna use Thunderbolts.
Alright, time to move on. Let's move on to the other one. And this is the one that's going to cause a lot of controversies, so get ready. Who's ready? You know what it is.
Ready. I got a whole thing prepared for this.
It's the Metroid Prime 4 one, because let's face it, they want to put in a character if there's a new game coming out, because then it helps promote the game. So let's be real here. There's going to be a new Metroid character. The question is, who is it? A lot of us want to say the obvious one right away.
It's not gonna be Ridley!
You stay silent!
Wait. Put on your tinfoil hats, ladies and gentlemen, because
Okay, I'll let Kalimdori go here.
Okay, so, with the new Smash reveal, we were not shown any gameplay whatsoever. I think this is because the way that Smash Bros. Is designed is to allow for bigger characters to be designed in the game. Previous games have always had generally the Bowser DK size for how high the platform should go. I think they didn't show that off because they have designed the platforms and jump heights and speeds and stage hazards, all that kind of stuff, to allow for bigger characters. That is my tinfoil hat theory. Ridley is going to be playable.
Other 3 is going to come to America.
Yay! You heard it here first!
Okay.
Oh wait, you heard it here like the millionth time from everybody else, but yay!
Yeah.
Here is my stance on the Ridley situation this time. Ridley has gotten through nearly every barricade he needs to be a playable character. Sakurai knows the fans want him. Sakurai knows he's a popular request. And honestly, even though he passed up on Ridley in Smash Wii U, even giving an official statement as to why, I don't think he's just going to automatically stick with that mindset. New game, new things to consider. I do think he will take another look at Ridley, and Ridley checks out most of the boxes for being a playable character already. The reason he was not playable last time is because of Sakurai's statements of Ridley's size not being able to be... Sakurai did not say that Ridley could not be resized. In fact, he said the exact opposite. He just feared it wouldn't be true to character, which I think Sakurai had a bit of flaws in his reasoning there, but I won't go into too much detail about that.
I kind of agree with you on that.
Question him.
We don't want this video to take another hour.
Yeah. Let's also go into the fact that we don't even know if Sakurai is even directing the game or if he's a consultant. We know he's involved, but we don't know where his position is. So if he's more of a consultant, then the guy directing it can look at it and be like, can I do something that we've never done in Smash before?
But assuming Sakurai is the director for this, I would honestly call Ridley's chances of being in the game a complete 50-50 wild card, because it is literally completely dependent on if Sakurai thinks Ridley can work as a playable character and still be true to character this time. That is completely what makes or breaks Ridley getting in the game.
I think Push Dustin of Source Gaming said it best, that Ridley is a character that Sakurai keeps coming back to. He's talked about it with Brawl, he's talked about it with Smash 4, that he has gone against putting him into the game each time, but he keeps coming back to it. So he's probably going to come back to it this time. It's just a matter of whether or not he thinks it can happen.
I'd be okay with him being resized and lowered, not to make him small, but he could still be the biggest character. We've seen a lot of mock-ups for it. To me, Ridley was never, like, his character wasn't supposed to be big and terrifying. It was supposed to be smart and vicious. That was always the way I saw Ridley. I definitely understand the big thing, but although I do have to question if he is going to be that vicious, then how could they possibly keep the rating at an E10 rating? Because if you think about it, I like the idea of him like a grab move where he drags him across the ground, but could that actually get through an E10 rating?
They allowed Bayonetta into the game.
I don't think it's going to have an E10 rating this time around. Like, given how the dark tone they had with that announcement trailer, I think they're going for a little more of a mature vibe this time around.
It's going to be rated T at the highest, but if that would be an issue, they would just bump the rating up to the T rating, because honestly, it's the ESRB that decides that. It would probably be a case of they put Ridley in the game, and the ESRB decides based on how vicious he is what rating to give the game from there.
Now, you've brought up Bayonetta before, but however, I don't know, did they actually rate the DLC content? Because when you go back and look at the final presentation, it actually did say content rated from like E to 10, or E to T rating, which, you know, Smash Wii U and 3DS did not have a T rating, and it was basically because they had to put Bayonetta in. But it didn't change that in the overall game itself, just the DLC content. So, do they actually rate the DLC? And if that's the case, would they actually make Ridley DLC because of that? Which, I don't think they would. But
it is a good question, though, because not just Smash Brothers, but nearly every game that has online multiplayer gives you a warning somewhere: online interactions not rated by ESRB.
Right, but that's online interactions. We're not so sure about the actual DLC content itself. Now, does that actually get a rating? And does that actually increase the game's rating after it's been released?
Maybe we should check Smash Wii U's page on the eShop afterward to see. That might be able to give us the answer.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Let's be honest, people have already thrown away their Wii U's when Smash for Switch was announced.
Hey, I still use my Wii U. Thank you very much.
It's a fantastic paperweight.
Okay, back to Metroid, though. Aside from Ridley, who, besides Samus, Ridley's the only big main character of Metroid, but other characters do exist, and we know that Sylux from Metroid Prime Hunters is going to have a substantial role in Metroid Prime 4. We don't know what yet, but depending on how things play out with Sylux, he may be a viable Smash candidate someday. My only issue, if Sylux gets announced officially before Ridley does, no amount of E-Tanks will allow anyone to survive.
You actually stole a lot of what I was going to say, because yes, I believe that if it's not Ridley, it will be another character. It probably will be Sylux to tie in with Metroid Prime 4 because of what we've been hearing, and like I think the ending of Federation Force kind of hinted that Sylux was going to be involved in Prime 4 in some way. It's really weird. There's no official confirmation, it's just speculation. But I do think that if there's another character and it's not Ridley, and not counting Dark Samus, because let's face it, that just kind of feels iffy. Like, no offense, but I think if there is going to be another Metroid character, it has to be Ridley. But if they do put in somebody else, then it's mostly just going to be to promote the game, or promote whoever's going to have an important role in Metroid Prime 4. Because when I go back and I look at it, the last time we had the new Metroid character was Zero Suit Samus, and the only reason I can think of that they put her in was because of Zero Mission.
Yeah.
Even though Metroid Prime 3 was in development and coming out, and was actually released before Brawl, they still didn't put anything in. In fact, the only thing we got from the Prime series in general, besides trophies and some music, was the Frigate Orpheon stage.
Well, and Meta Ridley.
And Meta Ridley, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Metroid Prime 3 was a release of 2007, I believe, while Brawl, after delays no less, was 2008. I guess they were just too close together. Like, that's probably a big reason why we didn't see a lot of Tropical Freeze content in Smash Wii U, and it's also why I'm honestly not sure what to think about a stage from Kirby Star Allies.
Well, I was thinking about that But if I could get back to Metroid real quick, it also depends. Like, do they actually take in... How well do they communicate with, like, the Western developed games? Because that could be the whole big reason.
Honestly, we have no idea.
Yeah, it depends on what they do with retros. Like, how well do they look into what retro is actually doing? They get them the trophies and some of the music and some of that stuff. But when it comes to, like, adding a new character that retro has made, which they haven't really done.
I mean, I suppose Dark Samus?
Yeah, she's this trophy. So yeah, they had a good opportunity, and they didn't. It's not like Dark Samus couldn't be a playable character as long as she has her own moveset, and she's not a mod. But yeah, yeah.
May I anger the Metroid fans really quickly?
Okay, fine. Give us a good anger.
I feel they should add Metroid. He would be a pretty good character.
Can we kick him out of the call?
Look at it this way, Kalimdori. Something like an Omega Metroid would be better than Adam Malkovich.
That is true. I will give you that.
I'm never coming back to any of these, alright. Never mind.
So I think that's pretty much all we could say on future games. I think for like current games, I think we could definitely see some, like, I could see some either trophies, or maybe they even could put in some stuff from ARMS, a new character, a new stage. I'm kind of curious as to what they would do with the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom battle. I definitely see some trophies from them. Of course, Rayman is a completely different topic for another day, but...
And you better invite me to that. I swear, if you don't, I'm going to be so upset, dude.
He has a knife. He has a knife.
I have several knives.
Yeah, well, Mario has a gun.
Touche.
He does.
He has the power of SJWs on his side.
Honestly, I think
on that topic of just taking something from Mario and Rabbids, I would love it if Peach's new Final Smash was that shotgun.
Yes! Yes, I'll take that over her lame current Final Smash she has.
Peach? Don't you mean Rabbid Peach?
No. Do not put a rabbit in my Smash Brother.
Unless
Rayman?
it's a trophy or like some kind of special from Rayman. Like imagine if he throws a rabbit.
It's like King Dedede's side being Brawl.
Yeah, and it just attacks and goes, ah!
Honestly, with Ubisoft involvement in the new Smash game, here's how I can imagine it going. Playable Rayman, Rayman stage, Mario and Rabbids stage, maybe something like one of the Rabid Mario characters like Rabid Luigi as an assist trophy, and standard things of music and trophies. That's how I see it going.
You're playing with my heart here, dude. Don't do that.
Ooh, imagine if one of the stage hazards was Rabid Kong.
Okay, so assuming we still have the time, there is actually one future game that we haven't mentioned yet that I just remembered. But before I mention its name, I am going to reclass a bunch to include Aegis and Pavis and any other defensive skill, just because of controversy.
Oh, boy.
Fire Emblem.
That depends.
I think if we got a Fire Emblem character, it would be from Echoes. The Switch title feels too new to have been decided for the roster. I could see Celica maybe, but...
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. If we get a new Fire Emblem character, don't hurt me. I see it being either Celica or... This one's a little more off the wall. Potentially someone from the mobile game Fire Emblem Heroes, like maybe Alphonse or Fiorm.
Yeah, I could use a clone.
Well, Alphonse, I can definitely see them going that route, but Fiorm would not be a clone. Just stating that now.
The only way I'm going to be okay with another Fire Emblem character, because let's face it, we have too many, and even Sakurai has said that, you gotta cut some of them. Either you make Lucina an alternate for Marth, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Roy, but you gotta let somebody go. Please, Corrin! Please, Corrin! Please, Corrin!
Yes, please.
Okay.
Second the notion.
I spent $6 on that, dang it, I want to keep it.
I have had an idea for how to help with the Fire Emblem representation without oversaturating too much with playable characters. Fire Emblem is in kind of the same situation as Pokemon right now, where they have so many characters to choose from, but it's hard to get them all into Smash. And you mentioned the mobile game, and in that game they use this gun to summon different heroes from the Fire Emblem universe. So what if, in the next Smash Brothers, there was a Pokeball-style item for Fire Emblem, where you take up the gun, fire it, and just a Fire Emblem character would come out and do an attack?
I was actually thinking using that gun-like relic as a final smash for the Heroes rep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, they shoot it at people and summon some fan-favorite heroes in a cutscene cinematic attack. I do, however, think your idea could still work if they just use the regular orbs. But one thing I'm hoping for stage-wise in the next Smash game is that they just have a better stage lineup in general. I absolutely love the stage roster of Smash 3DS, but Smash Wii U did not pull me in that regard. A lot of underwhelming stages, in my opinion, there.
I kind of agree. There weren't a lot of that I could classify as favorites. But real quickly, before we wrap everything up here, if they were going to pick a stage from the 7th generation Pokemon, I don't know why I'm just suddenly bringing this in, but if they were, where do you think it would be? Because I honestly want to see, like, the Ultra Wormholes.
Uh-oh.
It would be like the Lilac Cruise sort of thing.
I think it's going to be the Ether Paradise with wormholes opening up in the stage to bring in some Ultra Beasts as hazards. That's what I think.
I like that.
I would like the Ultra Wormholes as well, just because I love the design of... I can't remember what it's called, the Ultra Space?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I definitely think a Sun and Moon stage should add Ultra Space into it. It's just, I feel like there should be a mix between that and the usual island motif. Which, speaking of Pokemon stages, anything from Pokken Tournament?
Okay, that's our answer.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've pretty much wrapped everything up. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me on this, and for you guys watching and listening, let me know what you think. What's going to happen with Breath of the Wild Link? What do you think is going to happen with the other Zelda characters? What content do you think we could possibly get from future games? And with all that said, hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. So, until then, later everyone.
Jigglypuff won't get buffed.
Have a good one, guys.
So long.